Hello GMS students, this is Mr. Friedman, and today we are again going to be looking at solving systems of equations using the substitution method. Now remember, the substitution method is the preferred method that we use when we have one equation that's in standard form and the other equation is in slope-intercept form. So let's first look at example 1. So notice here, this is my standard form, this is my slope-intercept. The slope-intercept form tells me that y is equal to 2x minus 6. So I'm going to use that in my first equation, which will allow me to make an equation that's in one variable only. So what I'm going to do is copy down this first equation, 2x plus 4. But now what I'm going to do is leave a big blank space for y, because I actually know that y is equal to 2x minus 6. Okay, so 2x plus 4, blank space for y, equals 26. Now let's substitute in what we know that y is equal to. So you see here, this equation is the same as this equation, but I've substituted in, instead of y, I put 2x minus 6. Now we can go ahead and solve this equation. Okay, so what we need to do first is distribute the coefficient in front of the parentheses. So I have 2x plus 8x minus 24 equals 26. Now combine our like terms. 2x plus 8x is 10x minus 24 equals 26. I can add 24 to both sides. And that gives me 10x equals 50. Divide both sides by 10. And I have x is equal to 5. Now to find y, I can go in and substitute this 5 into either equation, but it's actually going to be much easier to use my second equation because that's already in slope-intercept form. So let's substitute this value of x into the second equation. So I'm going to write my second equation here. Y equals 2x, we're going to leave a blank for x, minus 6. Okay, my second equation, y equals 2x minus 6. Substitute in the value. So I have y equals 10 minus 6, or y is equal to 4. So my solution to this equation is 5, 4. Now, our final step here is to check our solution. We're going to check in both of these equations. Take our first equation, 2x plus 4y equals 26. Substitute in the two values. 5 for x, 4 for y. I have 10 plus 16 equals 26. 26 equals 26. Okay, and I'm going to take my second equation, y equals, let's put a blank here for y. Y equals 2x minus 6. Substitute in our values for x and y. X is 5, y is 4. So I have 4 equals 10 minus 6, or 4 is equal to 4. So that checks. Okay, so I've solved this first system correctly. Let's now look at our second example here. Okay, the second example is just going to be a little more complicated because of some of the signs that we have. Okay, but once again, I have one equation in standard form, my first equation. My second equation is in slope-intercept form. So the first step, what I'm going to do here is copy down my first equation, but I'm going to leave a big blank space here for y. Okay, so I have x minus 3y equals 13. I've just copied that down. X minus 3, big blank space for y equals 13. Now let's substitute in this second equation. I know that y is equal to 2x minus 1. So I can put 2x minus 1 in place of y. Now we can go ahead and solve this equation. First step is I have to distribute my coefficient. Notice here that I'm multiplying what's in parentheses by a -3 because I have x minus 3 times what's in parentheses. So this is like multiplying both terms by -3. So this equation is now going to become x minus 6x, and then -3 times -1 gives me plus 3 equals 13. Make sure you can follow those steps. That's the complicated part of this equation. Okay, now we can solve this equation. First, I have to combine like terms. X minus 6x, this would be like a 1x minus 6x, is going to give me -5x plus 3 equals 13. Subtract 3 from both sides, and I get -5x is equal to 10. Divide both sides by -5, and we get x is equal to -2. Now I need to solve for y. So to solve for y, I'm going to take my second equation, y equals 2, but let's leave a blank space for x, minus 1, because I know what x is. I know x is equal to -2. Okay, so y is equal to 2 times -2 is -4 minus 1. So y is equal to -5. So my solution to this system is -2, -5. Final step is to check. Take the first equation, x minus, I almost forgot here, when I'm checking, I leave blank spaces. So x minus 3y is equal to 13. Notice I just took this equation here, but I left blank spaces for x and y. X is equal to -2. Y is equal to -5. Okay, so I have -2, and then -3 times -5 gives me positive 15. -2 plus 15 is 13 equals 13. So my first equation checks. Now let's take our second equation. Y, leave a blank space for that, equals 2x minus 1. For y, we have -5. X is -2. So I have -5 equals 2 times -2 gives me -4 minus 1. So I have -5 equals -5. So that checks. So my solution to that second system, this system here, is correct. My solution is -2, -5. And now you should be ready to begin today's worksheet.